Welcome, everybody. What's up? BK presents P3, the Positive Progression Platform. Today, you are here with Kalila Morris, which is the author of A Fiend's Family, and Mr. D, owner of What's Up BK, aka The Demolition Man. Last time that we were on a podcast, I was actually interviewing her. Today, we are a dynamic duo. So, I'm going to let her lead off with the topic of today, which is the male and female's role in today's relationships.
Right. So, this topic is so important because in today's society, you don't see the male role being portrayed as what it was, let's say, in the 1950s.
I wasn't around then, but
But you see it on TV shows, even in the 60s, even when you watch The Cosby Show. You
mhm.
know, they was more of a partnership, but you could tell that he was still the king of his castle.
Oh, without a doubt, you don't really see that type of leadership role like you used to.
Right.
Um,
Not even on sitcoms. There's no sitcoms that's really that I've seen as of late where you see the male is taking leadership in the household.
no, you're right, and I think, and then being that you mentioned TV shows, I think that had a lot to do with changing the roles of the male in the house. And
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely a different time, and the way relationships are now are nothing what I was taught coming up or the examples that were set before me.
Okay. Okay.
So, I mean, what do you think are the reasons?
Well, a lot of the reasons is because there's a lot of single households, single mom and single dad, you know? So the roles are different.
But we're talking about relationships. So now
Right.
being a single dad, a single mom inside of a relationship where you're bringing these other children into a relationship.
It could be. It
Okay.
could be. That could be one example of why the roles have changed.
Hmm.
Also, it could deal with finances because now women are taking more leadership roles in high power positions, you know?
Well, definitely.
So,
Some women make more than men these days,
mm-hmm.
and I think traditionally growing up, when we did, the man was pretty much the breadwinner. He took care of the bills and the finances,
Right.
and the woman took care of the kids in the household.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very different
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
And I think also, like in most households, it takes both incomes to actually, run
Run
a
the household.
household. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Plus. So,
so what do you think now could be done to change the way relationships have portrayed themselves to us as far as in modern times?
well, social media plays a big role in relationships, you know?
Well, definitely. Do you think that it has taken away from the individuals, right? The individual relationship, like let's say me and you in a relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And whatever our issues are, how we figure we're gonna run our household, you think is affected by what we watch on TV and social media and other influences that are coming at us?
Yeah. There's a point in time where instead of people talking to their close friends, they put their opinions and their feelings out on Facebook, let's say.
Nah,
You
you're
know?
right, and I'm not a big social media guy, and I'm actually surprised I'm sitting here, but I'm getting used to this. But
Right, right.
it's new for me. But you know, I think personal business, as far as when it comes to relationships, should be between two people. But today, it's like you're in a relationship, but you're probably the last person to know that there's even an issue in a relationship.
So, as a male, such as yourself,
Yes, such as me. I'm a male.
you are a male.
Can't mistake that.
What are the major three things that's important to you?
Well, as a male in a relationship, like I'm a traditional guy, so You know, not only being a breadwinner, you know, taking care of the household as far as whatever the need is financially, being a protector, you know, helping out around the house, you know, making sure the lawn is cut and you know something's broke. You know, you got to be a little handy. You got to be able to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you know that is a role I think that every man should have. But you know, through uh, what I've seen in of late, you know, those roles have changed. I've seen guys sit home and actually all they want to do is lay up, and the female is doing everything. You know, then I've seen guys who stayed home and played super dad and took care of home, and then the female's out running around doing all kind of stuff behind his back. You know, and he's sitting there being Mr. Mom, and she's out there getting a groove on. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of different. You know,
There's a lot of different roles, right? So we could see how the male is in the household and the female is in the household.
well, the question that you asked me was about the male.
Right, I did.
So I'm gonna ask you, what do you think a female's role should be in the household?
Okay. Well, we have to make sure that our house is clean at
Okay.
all times. We take care of our children and our mate. Because, like, sometimes when you're in a relationship, the mate gets pushed to the side because they're so consumed with the household and the children. Make sure that they're all incorporated in one, or make a schedule so that the male or female or male and male, however your relationship is going, make sure that they're not left out. So make sure that your mate is there and there first and foremost, your kids, your household, everything is all together. Not to mention, we have our careers now. I don't know about some people, but I know I have two jobs. you know, I'm working two jobs, and I have my book, A Fiend's Family, of course. So I'm out promoting. So, you know, life is very busy for a lot of people.
So what would you do and sacrifice for the man or love of your life that you're in a relationship with that's gonna make him feel special and wanted and make him want to run home to you?
Well, for one, scheduling is big. I know
Scheduling as far as
it's my schedule for my family and my loved one.
and what about their schedule?
And I make sure that I fit into theirs as well as they fit into mine. And definitely every other week has to be a date night.
Okay,
By
so
any means necessary. You have to give each other at least 3 to 4 hours, you know, just for that date night. Because that's important.
so even if the schedules conflict, you saying that both parties should sacrifice a certain period of time
Yes.
for each other,
Yeah.
regardless to date. Now, that's including or excluding the kids?
That's excluded the kids.
Okay.
That's not family time. That's y'all date night.
I hear that.
That's your date night. That's a must.
Okay, I mean that sounds good, and it's a great idea. But what if one of the parties don't do their part?
Well, you got to keep on pushing and talk to them and keep on talking to your broken record. If that's what you want for your relationship. You know, for me, it's important. So that's one of the things that I do, that I've done
Did it work?
to save my relationship. At times. At times.
I get
You
it.
know,
I
you
get
have to
it.
do things like, okay, well, they can't come to me, they at work, you go to them.
Okay,
You know?
and
What time's your lunch? Okay, I'll bring dinner.
oh,
Whatever.
That's what's up.
That's what you
Home-cooked
gotta
meal?
do. Sometimes.
I hear
Look,
that.
you're asking for a lot.
Hey, listen. Nah, that sounds good. I mean, so what do you think in a relationship that you see today? Like one of the main things that stand out to you that you figure is a problem that the men are doing in relationships that either you've been in or you know people that you know. What do you think? What do you think the male is lacking today
They're getting too comfortable.
with?
Like, instead of going out on a date, let me just come to your house and Netflix and chill. This ain't COVID no more. We don't want that. We want to be out in the world again. We
Okay.
want to sit at a dinner table.
Okay. So now what happens with the guy, right? All right. Netflix and chill, right?
Mm-hmm.
He don't want to go out for whatever reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you try to accommodate him with what he's comfortable with?
Yeah, you take turns.
Okay. So it's a give and take.
I think so.
Should be.
On both ends.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me tell you something. I've been like watching a lot of different shows and interviews and stuff on YouTube, and I hear like all these different type of crazy relations. I've had my own experiences, which kind of get, you know, uh,
That's another show.
that's another show. But basically where the male is really not being respected as the king of his castle because the woman is fighting for power. She wants to wear the pants,
Okay.
but then you know a struggle all by itself.
Yeah, they have to find a middle ground. They have to compromise. But that's up to the two that's involved in that relationship, because where I come from, the male is head of his household. Not saying that what he says goes, but because he has to bend, for his queen, but
Yeah, but what happens when you bend for this queen, right? Your queen, right? And it still ain't enough. She ain't satisfied. She's because guess what? Her girlfriends is out every weekend hanging out, going to all these places that she wish she could go because she's tired of being stuck in this relationship. She want to be free. She want to spread her wings and kind of get a taste of what she think her friends are having, even though they're probably out there having fun, but they don't have what she has.
right.
They don't have nobody to call their own. They know it's just a fun thing. But you sitting there with someone that loves you, that's holding it down, and all of a sudden, you want to go out.
Well, once a month with your girlfriends, every other week with your mate, you gotta balance it out.
No, that's good. I mean, I personally, feel like that everybody should have their freedom in a relationship. So if you
Right.
have friends outside of, a family, you should have time to spend with them as well.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
I
So maybe we should try to get some callers and see what they think on this topic.
yeah, I think
You
so.
know? We'll
That's a
work
great
on.
idea.
Yeah. Hello, is this Marguerite? Marguerite? Hey, Marguerite. This is Kalila, and we are on the line with Mr. D
Hey, Marguerite.
from What's Up
Hey,
BK.
Kalila, Mr. D.
Hey, what's up? We starting this new podcast called P3, the Positive Progression Platform, and today we have a very interesting topic, and Khalil will let you know what it is.
Well, we are speaking on the male's role in a relationship and also the female's role in a relationship. So, Marguerite, I would like to know what is the three main things that you look for in a relationship as the role of a female. Do you do in your relationships?
Well, I think one of my attributes is that I'm able to view situations from both sides of the spectrum.
Hmm.
Meaning, I know the difference between communication and confrontation. I know that if my mate is already riled up, that me being riled up will only add more fuel to the fire. So therefore, my tone and my delivery is very important.
That's great.
And just overall being supportive of whatever
Wow.
his dreams and aspirations might be, in a realistic and logical way, though, of course.
Of
Of course,
course.
of course. Wow, I can learn a lot from you.
Listen. I wish we could duplicate you and multiply you because
Right.
y- you know everybody's kind of these days they pretty much stuck on themselves. Like everybody wants what they want, and people not wanting to give. So I mean, what you just said, was definitely something that I've longed for. Someone to be understanding and caring and concerned. It's hard to find these days women like you, but continue.
Wow.
You know, one of the most important things in terms of the communication is that you need to know what your mate, well, as an individual, because at the end of the day, we still are individuals. We only
Yes.
unite and come together when on things that we need to unite and come together with. So, with that said, as an individual, each person should know what it is that they love about themselves, right?
Definitely.
And they should also know what they would like to fix about themselves. So, like being conscious, being aware of of what they bring to the table and what they should add to their table, or add to the plate, or whatever it is. I say like one of the things I'm like for me, I love hard, so it's very dangerous to be with someone like me, as well as very beneficial. I say that because one of the things I love about myself is my ability to love
Mm,
without condition. Okay? But
that's
one
what's
of
up.
the things I would change about myself is my ability to love without condition, because there should be conditions. So it's one and the same that I would work on. I need some kind of balance. It can't be too far to the left or too far to the right. It gotta be able to be somewhere in the middle with my own self,
Yes,
within me.
yes. Definitely starts with self love. But let me ask you something. What do you think about like today? A lot of people in relationships, whether it's the female or the male, they're not even looking for love no more. They don't even know how to love themselves. They don't feel love. They don't know how to receive love. So, what do you say in that type of situation?
Well, honestly, I think that's a sad affair. I think it's one of the saddest things ever, because people are not realizing that we only doing this life here on planet Earth one time. If you don't believe me, look for anybody who's gone. You don't see them again. So you're only gonna do it one time. You got one shot at this in life. So you need to go off. You need to be happy. You need to find the joys in life. A lot of times, like even in marriages, people like to think that they stay for children and they stay old, or we stay until the kids get old and all this other stuff. That's still wasted time. And you
Yeah,
know why it's not worth it? Because if you raise these children upright in a positive way, you know what? You don't need to stay in a loveless marriage just for the sake of it.
no, I totally
You
agree.
know? Because when they get older, they get that age, talk back age, they're gonna do things that you're not gonna want them to do. So why are you doing things that you don't want to do for the sake of, for the sake of the kids?
Yeah, of
And I don't
course.
mean that in a selfish way, because we all make sacrifices and things of that nature. Because yes, the children are naturally born, but neither did we. So everybody got to be able to find some kind of balance, some kind of something in their life that makes them happy. If you're not happy in a relationship, don't stay. By no means, don't stay. There's no compromising with that.
That's
Nah,
right.
yeah,
That's right.
And you got to take responsibility for yourself. You can't sit there and be like, "Oh, I stayed to make this person happy, make that person happy." It's not the responsibility to make anybody happy.
that is
It's your
true.
responsibility that if you want to be in a relationship with someone, you want to love someone, or whatever the case may be. It's your responsibility to do the right thing. That means don't step out on them. Don't do anything that you don't want done to you. That's your responsibility.
Yeah.
If you want to be vested in that relationship. But if
Right.
you don't, I think the best thing you can do, the best service you can do to another person is be honest with them by being
Mm.
honest with yourself, with what you want and don't want. Don't
Amen.
straddle the fence. Don't straddle the
Absolutely.
fence.
Absolutely. But thank you, Marguerite, for calling in and giving us your perspective on your role in the household and relationships. Appreciate you, sis.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night. Nice meeting you.
Good
Likewise.
night. Okay, so we have another caller, RP. You're on the line with myself, Khalil Morris, and Mr. D. How are you?
I'm
Hey,
alright.
what's up, RP?
Great, great.
What's going on?
So we're gonna ask you the same question that we asked our last caller. So we got a female's perspective. Now we need the male's perspective. What are the three most important things that you feel is important in the male household and in a relationship?
When you say three important things to myself or to the relationship,
Both. So first give it from your aspect. What's important for you in a relationship?
communication,
Mm-hmm.
appreciation,
Mm.
teamwork.
And
Hey,
teamwork.
makes the dream work.
That's right. That's right. So, as the male in the household, do you feel that you bring or have brought those in your household to make it run smoothly?
Yes, to a certain degree. It also depends on the partner.
Depends on the partner.
Definitely depends on the partner.
Yeah.
Now, you said one thing, right? Definitely communication is always a plus, right? And I mean, I think the average person understands that, whether they do it or not, or whether they learn how to communicate well with each other. But the second thing you said, which was, appreciation, and I know as men, a lot of times, even with children, you wind up feeling unappreciated, regardless, especially the good men. The bad guys,
Absolutely.
they get all the credit, but you can continue. So,
Right. So in a relationship, like what's the most important thing for you? You like in the household. Like how do
What's
you
the
feel
most
like it's a
important?
great leader? Like, because some men they don't lead. They allow the women of the home to lead. So what's your perspective on that?
I mean, I guess what every relationship requires a different dynamic.
yes.
So if you in a relationship where I believe that each person leads in different aspects. Whereas wherever your strengths are, you would lead, and wherever my strengths are, would lead.
Okay.
So you would have to, pretty much adapt and align yourself with the other person. Because, like you
Exactly.
said, the two people are always different. What they bring to the table is different. And if you keep bringing
Absolutely.
whatever from one relationship to the next relationship, even if it's good in principle, it may not work for the next partner because of their attributes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I got it.
Well, thank you all, P, for joining in our session. It was
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you again, and it was good to get your side of the male perspective in a relationship. All right, take
Male's
care.
perspective is the right side.
Oh, here you go.
That's right. Totally agree, bro.
I bet. I bet.
Yes, yes.
All right. Have a
All right
good
then.
one.
All right. Hey, Greg, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How you doing, brother?
Good, good, man. Welcome to P3, the Positive Progression Platform.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here with my co-host, Kalila Morris, author
Uh,
of A Fiend's Family, and of course, everybody knows I'm Mr. D.
mm-hmm.
Well, everybody don't know, but if you was watching the start of the show, you would know. But anyway, today's topic is the male and female's role in a relationship in today's modern times. So we need your perspective on what you think a male's role should be in a relationship and just relationships in general. And what problems do you see with how things might have been the way you grew up and the examples you had in front of you, compared to the way relationships are today, if you see a difference.
Yeah, that's a big difference from today, from these days and times, and back when we was growing up. Cause
Yeah.
more like like everybody like it's more it's a two household family. So
Yes,
most women are working. Like when we was growing up, most women stay in the house and take care of the kids. But now
definitely.
these days, most women are they mostly the bigger breadwinner.
Yeah.
They bring in more bread than the man.
Right. Yeah.
It's like it's more of a partnership now these days than anything.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
do you think they want just as much power? Like the man was looked upon as the king of the castle, like the lion, you know.
The protector,
Yeah,
the
and
provider.
everybody depended on him. So now
Mm-hmm.
that the woman's providing, like you said, and the male, what happens when the male wants to still be the king, but the queen doesn't want to stand in the shadows of the male?
But sometimes a woman gotta stand in the shower for a man, because that's the only way he gonna develop.
Hmm,
If somebody's standing in the shower of you, he could never grow.
that
That's
is
either
true.
or. That's if you have a woman and you got your woman, you want her in the shower. It's the same way. I wouldn't want to be with nobody that's not growing with me.
Mm.
I appreciate your answer, Mr. Greg.
So what questions do you
That's
have for him?
good. You took it
Nah,
all. I mean, look.
you got to ask him something.
I
Come
mean,
on. I think you're intimidated by this brother.
of course not. I appreciate everything that he's saying, actually, because he's seeing both sides. So
Yeah.
since he's seeing both sides, it's easy to just flow off of what he's saying. Like, he's leading right now. So, of course, I'm supposed to follow. And that's what we don't have in the households today.
Yeah, sure indeed.
I don't even
Sure
know
indeed.
him, but it's easy to follow him because he's speaking with such authority, power, and he's showing leadership. And that's what we need in order for us women to respect the male in the household.
Yes, indeed.
I agree.
And most women
I agree
don't
with
respect
that.
a dude that's had a man that's not an old man.
Right.
Because, you know, naturally, a woman still want to provide somebody to be secure. You know, who want to be with somebody that's not taking care of you?
Right.
I gotta take you the girl, you gotta take care of me. That don't sound right.
Yeah. So
Right.
you got to
You know what I mean?
command respect, but you got to stand on. You also got to be a stand up dude. You got to be a man.
Yeah, you still gotta be a man.
Be a man, exactly.
No one wants a pushover. I mean,
Not at all. Nobody wanna push over.
And nobody want a grown ass baby that you got to
Exactly.
take care of and give them allowances. And
You have a lot of those too.
yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of those.
That's real talk. You got a lot of those, like just like how you just said, grown ass baby.
But
Yeah.
that's what we're seeing more
Years
now.
old.
That's what we're seeing now, you know, versus in the 80s. You didn't see that before.
nah, you didn't see that
I mean-
at all.
No.
Even a wino was still a man of his house.
Right.
They made sure that he was still respected as the man of the house.
Yes.
You know, such father.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let me ask you something. Do you think like a lot of the females don't want to give the man the respect due, or you feel like the male is not commanding the respect?
I can't really say the male is not commanding respect because it goes both ways. 'Cause, you know, like you gotta look at these days and times, bro. Times done changed where women are more. The only thing that's messed up with women, they ain't get the pay rate as a man. You know what I mean? But physically, they can't do the physical work. But as far as like brain wise and like computer, all that, they do the same thing as a man, or even better. You know, like like I was saying before, sometimes where and you feel equal to somebody, you gonna want somebody to be equal to you. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
That's just how that go down. You want somebody to be equal with you. You know, you don't want to stand on a pedestal and have somebody under you. No, you want somebody standing beside you, somebody that can hold you up when you fall.
Absolutely.
That's what's up. Well, you definitely touched on some very important
Yeah, it's key. Like
Dang.
just like you said, a relationship, and especially like for a black relationship, because these days time we go through so much.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Different level of pressure for the black man, period, and the black woman. But
Both ways.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
As black people.
Right. We get
It's
a lot of
surviving in
scrutiny.
America.
There's a lot of scrutiny. Definitely. Well, thank you for joining our show and giving your opinion. We appreciate you joining us.
Thank you. And I want to say one more thing. You ever seen? I was watching the news the other day. Today, I was laying up in the house, and it was showing the sister that became got
Supreme Court,
justice.
yes.
You know how many questions they asked her?
Ridiculous questions.
Yeah.
Ridiculous, stupid questions. That how you gonna ask someone how is it? That's like me asking a thing. How do it feel to be a? Can you give me a definition of being a woman? I'm asking a woman to give me a definition of being a woman. Come on now, let's be for real. That's a dumbass question to ask somebody. Excuse my language, but it's not,
fine.
it don't make sense.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's over 1,500 questions.
yeah.
1,500 questions, and she had to answer every question they asked her.
And she did it with pride,
And
with
pride,
joy in her
everything.
face, and no problems at all. She got through it.
Strong
This
black
got-
woman,
Exactly.
and that's what we need. We need the women to stand up and the men to stand up.
Stand up, exactly.
Absolutely. But thank you again, Greg.
Thank you,
I
Greg.
appreciate that. I appreciate talking to y'all. I had a good conversation. with you.
Great. Thank
Great,
you.
my man.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
All right.
Wow.
Well, we had some great calls.
We had some great callers,
I
right?
tell
We
you.
had three really good callers,
Yes.
3 different answers and
Yes.
perspectives on your role, my role in the household and relationships. So, how do you feel, Mr.
No,
D?
I feel great.
You feel
This
great?
has been, listen, it has moved along in a way where, definitely we had 3 callers who really wanted to give you their perspective on relationships and how
Yes.
they should be. So we had real men, real women that wanted to be team players, that just wanted to be loved and respected
Yes.
and more than willing to do their part, as it being a part of their nature, their natural state, to provide, to
Right.
protect, to stand up. So I think what I got most, especially from the callers, because you had three different dynamics, but they were similar but different. They touched on different areas.
Yes.
And you want to be respected, you want to be appreciated, and you want to be able to. You definitely want to be able to listen and compromise and communicate, so that you can be a better partner to the other person. So whether it's the female or the
Or the
male,
male,
you want to
right.
be able to. It should be your everyday homework to figure out how to please your mate. You understand?
Yes.
So, and I get it. You're gonna go through your dry periods and and certain times in a relationship where people are overwhelmed with bills and kids, but you gotta recognize when you're having a problem and start trying to first communicate, but try to do different things to stimulate things before they get to the point of no return.
I agree.
And that's important. And I don't see too many people fighting for relationships today, or you see one person fighting a a lost cause because the other person long
They
left
checked out.
the relationship,
Yeah, they checked out.
and
yeah.
you still trying to save what can't be. So what is your take on pretty much?
Pretty much everything that you said. They want respect. People want to be loved, and they want to be able to give love. Some people just can't receive it. So
That is true.
that's another topic for a whole nother day.
So as we wrap this up, we always want to try to leave some positive outlook so that we can progress as people. The whole reason of this platform is for us to progress. And there are a lot of questions. There are more questions than answers
Right.
that most people get in their relationships today. So I think, from my perspective, I think for us to progress is to first, like one of the callers said, you got to love yourself before you can love someone else. And then you got to also know what you're looking for. You got to first ask yourself, what do I want in a mate? What do I want in a relationship? And you might not get everything you want from one individual, so there's always going to be a compromise.
Right. Right.
And then at some point in a relationship, when you get past the dating stage and you're actually in a relationship, you need to find out from the other person what they want, because maybe you want to get married, maybe they don't. Maybe
Right.
they want kids, you
Yes,
don't.
yes.
So if you don't ask these questions, you can't go on assuming that whatever your fantasy relationship is what you have in front of you.
So to sum that up is communication, 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 and don't forget date night
Gotta have date night.
without the kids.
That's right. So,
Well, I'm Kalila Morris.
and I'm Mr. D.
We'll see you next time on P3.
Peace.